recently I watched The Men Who Built America. It's a series, I think it was on Hulu or the History Channel somewhere, and it talks about Rockefeller and J.P. Morgan Chase and Edison. And it talks about these people, and I just was wondering, who do you think are the women that built America?
Harriet Tubman,
I was just about
Sojourner
to say.
Truth,
Yes.
Ida B. Wells. I would say
Shirley Chisholm.
So give me one and tell me why you say that one built America.
I think Harriet Tubman, because she was a freedom person, and she gave people the mindset that you don't have to live this way, and she began bringing people into the light because they were under the mindset that this is it's always never going to be. Because she always says, I would have freed a lot more people if they would have knew they were slaves. So for us,
say that part again. I would have said it again.
I would have freed a lot more people if they would have knew they were slaves. And it kind of comes to what we're dealing with today. A lot of people are still under this influence that I have to wait for this to happen, but we are in a situation now where you better understand what your mindset is. So I would say Harriet Tubman.
I'm going to say Madam C.J. Walker.
Absolutely.
Because she was one of the first women, black millionaires. And she was a pioneer. People looked up to her like, I can have my own business too. And so when you think about America being built, you think about the people that thrived and worked really hard so that they can have something and leave a legacy for their family. You know, we talk about family wealth and generational wealth. That's building America to me.
Yeah.
Some of our people are still here.
Yeah, and the Shirley Chisholm story is just
so
phenomenal.
Regina King did that.
How about you?
I'm really having a hard time thinking of like one person.
You know, it doesn't have to be
one.
And it doesn't have to be old, because mine isn't old. You want me to go?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So, I love art, right? Love the arts, and sometimes we forget about how important that is to us, and I feel like we have a true wave of behind the scenes black women that are putting black women in front of the camera. So my person who really right now will be Shonda Rhimes. I feel like she has really changed the game and what we see on television. And I think she's really motivating our young ladies and some of our adult women, because what she's done is tremendous, you know. And even us sitting here at the value show, you know, on the value show, it just is another black woman, you know. So it's, I really find, you know, she's one. Yes, she's not Harriet Tubman. Yes, she's not Shirley Chisholm or Madam C.J.
it all
but
works.
It all adds up. And she probably would name some of those people, but not knowing how she has
her
impacted.
legacy started with Lena
Wade.
Because she has built Lena Wade and all these other people that's coming. So it's kind of you got the Lego blocks. It's the history. It's just history. Oprah. Madam C.J. Walker, Oprah, who's coming after Ava DuVernay. You know what I'm saying? So you're looking at Lego blocks, and this is the way it's supposed to go.
It's supposed to be a building.
You know, when you when you start film, you got a whole legacy. When you start art, you got a whole legacy. Because artists create that. That TV was somebody's idea.
Yeah, it was an invention.
You know, the stoplight was created by, you know what I'm saying? The alarm was created by a black woman. So you're absolutely right. That doesn't have to be Harriet Tubman, because we got to keep moving. Harriet she started it, so the ball has to keep rolling.
It's a lot of them.
It's a lot, exactly.
Even before Harriet.
So
you know,
it has to. It keeps going.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, legacy.
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 I do have someone in mind now.
Okay.
So there's a woman named Henrietta Lacks. I don't know. Okay, you heard of her? So she is responsible for like the immortal stem cells. So she was born back in the 1900s. And she had cervical cancer. And she had a very aggressive and rare form of cervical cancer. And at the time, they took her cells and put in a petri dish to study it. And of course, you know, black women were like mistreated, undiagnosed. So like she passed away, but they kept her cells. And her cells never died out. So they took her cells, turned it like this $1 billion industry where like you can reproduce her cells and study different medicines on them. So that's how so many medicines got created, and it's like still to this day being reproduced. But her kids were never aware that her cells were being like reproduced, like sold in masses. They didn't receive any funding until like a study was done in early 2000s, I believe.
They just came out with a documentary on it.
They still haven't got any money. They still fighting.
Right? Yeah, a lawsuit.
Henrietta Lacks.
Where's the documentary?
It might be Hulu or
look, Oprah did.
You can look up Gila cells. That's what they go by.
They just called. They just told you her name. Yep, they just told you her name.
Okay.
Yep.
So her cells are like the basis for so much like medical invention, COVID. Medical. Yeah, like the vaccines. Like her cells, like what they built all of like this testing off of.
A black woman.
Yep. Henrietta Lacks.
Wow.
Oprah did her story too. It's on Hulu, HBO.
I think
it's a book about her too.
Lifetime or
that's what I learned about her first.
Own channel.
She's been around, and they just not because they call it the Heba thing, and they just not started talking about it about a couple years ago.
That's interesting. I like it. We all kind of went everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, we touched on everything. So
there's so many.
I mean, the list goes on.
I was gonna say we just
we haven't even touched anything.
No,
because even for women products, you know, the lady who created the tampons and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on and on that. But it's just interesting, you know, when we talk about it's always the men or the you know.
Yeah.
But I just wanted us to give just some solitude and some praise to just a few, you know, of the women who have, you know, had a true impact on America and beyond. So that also leads me to the world, right? So, you know, we have the Western and the Eastern beliefs, and, you know, you hear, you know, Buddhists may say the God is in them, where a Christian may say we speak to a God, you know. And I just want to know, through the ages of life, and in there we have manifestation and meditation and all of these other things. But I really want you to hear what I'm asking, like, you know, where do you see God? Is God in you, or is it a person that you pray to or see, you know? And speak to it as in what you feel and what your generation kind of landed you into.
God is everywhere to me. As I'm getting older, the scripture of we are created in His image speaks to me more and more every day. Like, part of loving yourself is knowing that, like, you were created, and you're not just a little anything. Like, you're big and you have power and to do a lot of things. And yes, Chanee.
I know. I was wondering if you were feeling me.
Chanee, not on the podcast. I'm not gonna cry.
You're not gonna cry, but I want you to hear the words you're speaking to yourself.
I do have to remind myself. I do have to affirm all day. Actually, I don't know. A lot of people tell me that I have a lot of confidence.
You do.
I don't. We're being honest and transparent. I do sometimes, but I don't have the confidence that people think I have. And it's God. And anytime you see something that's big and powerful, and it looks like I'm not insecure, it is God, and that's what I'm saying about God is in us too. Like, I'm fearfully and I'm wonderfully made. So there are times when the flesh part of me is saying, you're not enough, you're not good enough, you're never going to. All of these things, because I feel small. But then I'm reminded, which goes back to what you were saying too, when I say God is in everything, literally He sends me messages from everywhere. It could be a kid. I remember one time I was going through something, I was driving behind a car, and I could have been driving around any car, and the car license plate said something like "Trust Jesus" in some way, and I'm like, "What?" I could have seen any license plate,
but you needed that.
But I needed that in that moment. Like, sometimes I'm scrolling on my news feed, and it'll be exactly what I need to hear.
To you.
Exactly. It could come from a commercial on TV, like even sometimes in nature. Like I hear from God, I see God. I see God in other people. So literally, everything for me, God is in everything for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
dreams.
Can I say something to you?
Of course.
So I think you're a confident person. That doesn't mean you don't have moments of being less confident.
That makes sense.
You walk with your head up high. You get on that stage and perform amazingly. You preach to other people in your field. You are a confident woman. Okay, you walk around empowered just naturally. We all have moments where we second guess or overthink something. It's once we stop learning, I think we're gonna be here anymore. But you are a confident person. You just have moments where, it's like, what is going on? But I want us all to start focusing on having more of those positive moments.
Yes, I appreciate that, and I take that, and I've come a long way, like a very long way. It took some time to develop this confidence that I do exude. I've been through a lot, and I feel like at 42, because our last taping we had, I said I was 43. I don't want people to think I'm lying. I'll be 43. I said 43 and 42. I'll be 43. Because in a month I'll be 43. Exactly. So I'm like, I'm 43.
I get it.
But as a 42-year-old, I can say that I'm the most confident that I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like because of wisdom and because of my journey and because of people like you all who pour into me. And I'm grateful for that, and I'm looking forward to when I'm in my 50s and when I could be like, listen, almost every day I'm 100% confident, and I wanna be like that because I know it's people that are inspired by me.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm inspired by you all as well.
Thank you.
And so I think God is in everywhere, everything.
Yes. Who wants to go next?
I can do it.
Okay.
So I was raised Lutheran, so I feel like that we more so believe it's like, we can never live up to God's image. And it's not like something we like try to achieve because it's like impossible to achieve. So I feel like for me, God's always somebody that like I talk to. I took advice from, I relied on. Because the most important thing is I feel like when you have a relationship with God, you're not alone in the universe. And a lot of things can like happen. You can like lose your job, you can have a wreck, and you need to like know that it's not just things go wrong, it's out of anybody's control, because a lot of times it's out of your control. So for me, it's more knowing that somebody has like eyes on me, making sure that things happen for a reason. And I think nowadays religion is much more like your personal journey. Like you have so much, there's no like external pressure to go to church. Like everybody in the neighborhood wake up and go to church together, and like if you're not there, people talking back and forth. That's how it was when I was younger. But like now it's like nobody will even ask you, nobody will like check in. People like go to church, they have their communities, they come home, they don't really say anything. So it's much more like what's your personal relationship with God, and like do you want to seek that out on your own? And I would say like I bounce back and forth more so. And now like do I want to, as I get older, like do I want to be more consistent, or do I want to keep trying to like weave my way in and out of religion? And now you have like what the whole other side of the country is doing with religion, like the Republicans and all that. So now it's like, what is Christianity when they take it to like this bigger scale and like say like this is what a Christian is? So now it's like, do you want to self-proclaim as a Christian? It isn't as positively looked upon now.
It's become political.
Yeah, now it's a political statement. So it's just like, I think that's why my generation moves more to like a personal journey, more of like a private religious experience. And I believe that God is more of like a give and take. So like, for example, I was born with like having glaucoma, which I wasn't technically born with it, but we can get into that later. Okay. But I think because of that, God blessed you in different ways. So like you may come up short in one way, but you come up in different ways. So I feel like that's like the key to my relationship with God. And like knowing that like things can go wrong and then things will go better in the end.
Yeah, that's right. I feel all of that. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I feel it. Like
Relationship.
Yes,
You don't
relationship.
understand how important it is.
And you don't always understand what he do either. So.
Yeah. And he's very humorous too.
Man,
Very humorous.
Yes.
Very.
Man.
Yes.
Very.
Yes.
I have humorous stories all the time.
Yeah.
Very humorous.
I had a situation the other
Yeah,
day that
I
was
know.
like that. I'm like, God,
okay, guy.
yeah, God.
He has a sense of humor. Yeah, he does.
It was one
To teach you
particular
your
person that was I was just like, they easily were agitating me. and then God turned around and then that person had a connection with me, like wanted me to be with them. Like,
For
like,
real?
are you serious?
For real,
like
right
now? And I was just like, wow, like it's a test.
Yeah.
To see if I'm growing.
And see, you're gonna leave with love.
Man, I messed up at first. I'm not gonna lie, I did.
But I know
you would.
Well, then I turned it around. I repented. I'm not gonna lie. In the process, I was still being character, being kind, but man, I said something that
out of your irritation of your flesh.
Man, I did.
That's the flesh move.
I could be sarcastic, very sarcastic.
Yeah, that's a flesh move.
No, I was like, I owe that person an apology. So I'm gonna apologize when I see them again. Yeah. And if you watch this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for real. I'm sorry, Sue. It's your
No
fault.
problem. Speaking of relationships, my relationship is he's my daddy. So that's exactly how I talk to him. Daddy, I need you to take care of this, And he's done phenomenal things for me, and he still is doing them. So that's my thing. And I just believe in spirituality and believer. I don't put a title on all that, because when people go, oh, they have rules. God don't have rules like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you walk this certain path with him. It's either be obedient or don't be obedient. If you don't be obedient, you get what you get.
And you are gonna suffer.
And you're gonna get the consequences. You can repent and say, thank you, and he's gonna love you, but there's gonna be some consequences behind that. I mean, to share a funny story, when I used to take the train, I would take the green line to the brown line. And this particular day, he said, Suzetta, do not go through the handicap door. So I feel like pushing the revolving door. So when I went through the handicap door, and the reason I'm mentioning color, because to everybody else's eyes, it looked like it was a prejudice move, because we both fighting to get in space. So he white on black, we fighting to get through the handicap door. When I thought this was such a powerful situation for me, because when I got out, everybody was like, did he push you? And it was like all this anger. And God said, you go stand in the corner. Daddy was like, I told you to go through the revolving door. Don't you say anything. Because everybody was upset. They were like, and I said, wow, is this how stuff gets started? Because you don't listen? Because outside it looked like it was really a racial thing, and it was not. It was a disobedient thing.
And what's the funny part of that?
The funny part is God got you and told you to go stand over in the corner. And don't you say a word. Right. The serious piece is why I said something. Because if I'd have said something, it would have blew up into something else. And
but
I often wonder.
People stay angry.
The people subsided because people want to get angry. Sometimes people walk around and want to be angry. They just want to be. I'm just gonna hop in on something. That's a whole nother issue.
And that's something inside of them.
Yeah, that's something inside of them. They just want to be angry. They're looking to start a fight. No, I'm going over here. And they was like, I said, it's good, we good. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't really explain to people that don't understand how daddy works.
They don't have a
relationship.
Yeah.
They're going to look at you like,
something's wrong.
So for me, it's just my relationship with him. I treasure it. I know he's here. I know he takes care because, situations pop up. And I'm like, and then people will say another thing. Well, what you going to do? What you going to do? That's why you have to be careful who you speak to.
Yeah.
Because they be like, what you going to do? And you're like.
It's power in the tongue.
Yeah. So
yeah.
you have to be careful with. So my relationship, that's my relationship. Who you want to talk to? Who would I go ask? What do you want me to do? Like when I'm looking for need things or ask things or who do I go talk to? And by the time you get there, he already have it set up. People be expecting it.
Yeah.
You know,
talking about you in rooms that you didn't even walk
right?
into. Yeah.
Because I actually had an encounter with a witch one time. She was like, "Well, God told me to tell you to go to church." I said, "But He didn't tell me. So, what's the problem?"
She was a proclaimed witch, or
Yeah, walking in that spirit.
she called herself a witch.
No, she's just walking in that spirit.
So what I take from that, and I don't mean to interject, I had an encounter with a witch before too.
Walking in that
She
spirit.
was speaking
Yep.
like God at first.
Yep.
And then one day, not one day,
So
and
she was prophesying.
she was saying a lot of scripture.
Yep.
And then out of nowhere, she said to me, she says, "Step on over to the dark side."
Yep.
And I said, "Huh?" And I was like, "What? Did she really just say that to me like that?" And she stood 10 toes down on what she said. She said, "Step on over to the dark side." And I said, "Well," and I, the God in me said, "What do you mean by that?" Because I guess she thought I was just going to be like, right, because that's what most people do in conversation. They just say, yeah. And she was like, "There's nothing wrong with being on the dark side sometimes." And then I said, "God is the light." And I was like, and I'm the light. And I'm not okay with stepping into the dark side. And she was like, "Well, God allows evil to happen." And I said, "That's very well true, but it does not mean that being in the dark side is okay." Like, yes. She said it just as plain as day. And she said it like matter of factly, like how we're talking right now. And I heard her spirit.
You heard
a witch.
Right. There you go.
And it was like, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. And I'm like, and that was the light that clicked on in my head, like, and this conversation is done.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
and I'm not doing nothing with you because
they exist.
But in the beginning, I'm thinking she's okay or whatever, but also there was some discernment going on in me.
That conversation was going on.
Even before the conversation, I started feeling certain things like, I don't know.
Something's
And that was
right.
the confirmation right there that that's not God. She may look like she is God. She may present herself that way, which is witchcraft.
Yeah.
And that's the way
And
that
it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I think I could understand what she mean when she say she was a witch, because they not calling themselves.
Because the way
she's definitely a mask.
The way she moved, she like walked off. You know, that wasn't a physical thing. It's just the way she carried herself, and your discernment to tell you. And it's really funny. I don't know if you ever had the encounter where somebody's talking to you and God is like, nope.
Yeah.
And you looking at them and He'll change their face and you going.
It's a
So
really,
it's really
eerie feeling.
And they're out here. They're out because
it's a lot of them.
It's a lot of them out here, and especially right now. You have to be very careful. There's a lot of portals out here. There's a lot of different things going on right now. Like what's going on right now is running people crazy because they don't know what. And this AI thing and this all this stuff that's happening right now. Be careful. You gotta be careful if you are a person who has discernment, and don't let him trick you into saying, "No, that's not what you hear." You know who God is. You know what the light is.
Oh, I know who God is.
You know the light. So when you go, like you said with her, she transitioned just as nice in that conversation as she
did. And also she was unapologetic about the things that she was saying. Like she stood on business with what she was saying. And she said, "And when you ready, I'm gonna be right here."
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, well, it wasn't no argument or nothing. I was like, well, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And I ended that because also you got to be careful with being like kind of combative and confrontational with people like that.
That's it, absolutely.
And I heard the spirit. Exactly. I heard the spirit and I just was like, yeah, that's the end of that.
Yep. That's the
period.
End of that. Yeah. He told you leave it alone.
Exactly.
Walk away.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
I'm so glad you heard it,
Me too.
Beyond the words, and got away from that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So thanks for confirming that they exist.
Because
I know it's a
no, she was just
I wasn't denying.
I
was just wondering, did she say she was?
Because it's like a lot of things that happen and confirmation comes up. You're like, okay, because you can go, yeah, that is what it is.
Right.
It is what it is.
And I
just wanted clarity.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know. No, I'm just saying. I'm glad she was like, yeah.
It's scary because it just is not
They
like
so
right
normal.
in your face.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So
you know how like on TV, watch a scary movie, you know who the monster is.
Yeah.
Something like or the KKK. You know they bad.
Yeah.
But these days they not wearing hoods.
But you know
exactly.
a good movie that showed that you didn't know who the monster was, and the only reason you knew because you was looking at it.
What?
The Devil's Advocate.
Oh, I never seen it. I heard of that movie, but I never seen it.
We're not going to get into that today because we got to wrap it up.
Go ahead.
We're talking about God and God and me, and I didn't share my perspective on God. And I just remember growing up in church as a kid and singing those gospel songs and going in prayer, and it was always that God was someone, you talk to. But then as I began to read and learn different things, I realized God is everywhere. It took me taking my own understanding with what my family put in me to realize. And I think they were teaching me God was everywhere, but it was just a different way it's taught in the church. But I have to say, God is everywhere. I mean, He's everywhere. And everything, literally, I have this prayer journal now, and it said, write down the prayer you want answered. And then come back and write when that prayer was answered. Because we oftentimes are walking in our answered prayers and don't realize. And I said, Dad, God, I needed this. Because literally, Saturday I had a big issue happen in the real estate world. And I was calling my husband. He was working on it. I was working on it. But I wrote it in the journal that morning. Wow. We both are, what are we going to do? Panic, anxious, all of that. And we got off the phone. But I said, let me call my husband back. And we prayed. We prayed over it. That thing was resolved. I'm going to tell you. So God for me, yes, I listen to... I'm open to everybody's perspective. Like, when I grew up, I grew up in a spiritual church as a Christian, and you would drive past the final call, or you didn't understand the Buddhist. I understand everyone because God is love, So I will read the final call. I want to understand a Buddhist. I want to understand even... No, I don't really understand the other side. The people that are atheists. I don't want to say I want to understand that because I don't get that. And maybe that's me being ignorant, but I don't really want to learn about that part. But everything else, I understand it because God is love and I like learning and hearing more about it. So that's why I posed that question. But you said something and it sparked, we wanted to hear you sing just a little. The God in me.
It's the God in me. They think I'm so fresh. They think I'm so clean. They think I'm so sweet. It's the God in me. What is